Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Black Gun. Today we're going to review Geissele's new 14.5-inch Super Duty patrol rifle. We purchased these actually for one of the departments that I work for, and I was really excited to get my hands on it. For the purpose of this review, I threw a 1-to-4 power Sig Sauer scope, which we're going to be reviewing a little later. But I'm going to use it today for the review. So without much delay, I think we should get into this. What I'm going to do right now is just see how she is down at 100 yards. Remember, when you're sighting in your weapon, always use the 100 yards as that standard guide. It'll keep any major deviations short range or long range. It's really nice standard. So we're going to get into this. We're going to start doing this right now. Also, what I'd like to tell you is for this show, we're going to start at the range and we're going to finish back up at the shop. So we're going to do most of the shooting now. And then when we get back to the shop, we're going to really go into detail about the positives and the negatives of Geissele's Super Duty. So basically what I'm going to do now is we're going to see how she is at an MOA or a sub MOA or a positive MOA at 100 yards. Prior to doing this show, I sighted this in at 50, so I just want to fine tune this before we get into the show. So we're going to dump it up to 4 power. See what we do with the 3-shot group. All right, so we took a walk out to the 100-yard line here where we fired those first 3 rounds. After the first 3 rounds, sighting the weapon in at 50 yards, this is what we get. Okay, we were sitting up high right in this area here. Okay, when I dialed it in, which the beauty of dialing it in at 100 yards with an MOA scope is you can use these inch blocks here. And if you use the inch blocks, let's say that you're an inch above and your scope is a 1/4 inch MOA. Well, 4 clicks is going to move it down. So once I realized my disparity here, I took the rifle and adjusted the turrets a couple inches down. And this is what we get right off the bench with the sandbags that I was using. I mean, right here, to give you an idea, we are literally sub MOA. So this Geissele Super Duty, right out of the box, is a sub MOA rifle all day long. Well, there's no question that Geissele put together a weapon that can most certainly shoot sub MOA groups at 100 yards. You took a look at what we had to do when we made the adjustments between 50 and 100. Pretty simple. And once we made those adjustments, she's right in point. So I'm going to give this rifle for a standard Super Duty patrol rifle out of the box. She's probably a 9 out of 10 as far as accuracy is concerned. So since we've already got it sighted in, I'm going to hit a couple pieces of steel. You guys can take a look and see what you think about the general speed and accuracy of this rifle. So we're going to start out at 100. I'm going to use the sandbags. And we have the sight adjusted to 4 power. So, see where we're at here. Okay. Here we go. 100 yards. Bam. Bam. We got 1 jam. Okay, so for whatever reason, we had a pretty nice stovepipe here, and, but also remember, we only have maybe a maximum of 50 rounds through this rifle. So, we're still within the break-in period. I'm really not going to take that as a negative right now. Down the road, if we're using the rifles and it does that continuously, it's going to be another problem. But load her back up and start at 100 again. Bam. Now we're going to go to 50. Bam, 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 bam. Out to 100. Bam. Back to 50. Bam. And we're empty. So generally, as far as speed is concerned, at 100 yards, back to 50, back to 100. This rifle's pretty deadly. You know, again, I mean, I'm kind of hung up on this jam, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's either the rifle's not broke in yet or it's a fluke. As you can see, I mean, she runs pretty steady. We've done some of your average marksmanship with the rifle, you know, taking it out to 100 yards. We saw the gun's a sub-MOA. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 power, dump it down to 1, and we're going to do some close quarter battle and a magazine change and see how the firearm functions that way. So let's get on with it. Okay, my first impression, this gun stays on gun. It stays right on the sight. Multiple rapid firing. This weapon stays right on the target in close quarter. Magazine changes are done very smooth. But I'm going to tell you what, the thing that I recognize or notice is this Geissele trigger. Out of the box, patrol duty. This trigger is amazing. I'm probably estimating that it's going to be about a 3.5 pound trigger, but she comes right to the wall, and that wall is crisp, and you can stay right on that after the release. It's amazing. I don't think I've fired an out of the box AR patrol rifle that had a trigger as outstanding as this one. I'll be honest with you, I really enjoyed the range day with this rifle. Geissele, I think, did a very good job assembling this rifle. I think that the one jam was an absolute fluke, and I'm just absolutely amazed at the accuracy and the way that this trigger works in harmony with everything else inside this AR platform. So with that said, we're going to head back to the shop and we're going to go over this rifle in detail, dissect all the parts, and tell you what my thoughts are on that. All right, guys, so see you back at the shop. Okay, guys, we're back at the office and finished with the range day. So we're going to probably end the program here with going over all the particulars about the rifle that I think are pretty good and pretty bad. You know, the first thing that I would like to start with was the trigger, because it was the trigger that gave me the first impression of how amazing the rifle was. It's a Geissele trigger. It's a single stage trigger. Like I said, very light and crisp, comes to the wall, about 3.5 pounds. The reset is minimal, so once that weapon cycles and you reset the trigger, you're only coming out a little bit. It was absolutely amazing. I've never shot any patrol rifle or AR-15 out of the box that had a trigger like that. The 4-position collapsible stock is a B5. You know, it has real high areas on both sides here, so you get a real nice cheek weld, real solid, gets you right on your sights right away. I think it was a real good choice for this. It comes with the Geissele ambidextrous charging handle, So you can operate it on both sides. Very smooth, very efficient, real meaty. So you're getting a lot of purchase on that. The other thing that I had noticed, which I really liked, was the Geissele bolt itself. The tolerances just seem to be pretty amazing. It's coated with their own proprietary nanotechnology coating. So when you cycle the weapon, you can hear that there's just really no drag there. And the friction coefficient seems to be very low, which is making for a very efficient rifle. The other thing that was nice on the weapon was the barrel. Now, I believe the barrel is actually made by Daniel Defense. It's marked as Geissele. I don't know if we could get in here so you could see it. Okay, you see the Geissele G there. Okay, it's the same type of laser cutting that Daniel Defense is using, so it's kind of a telltale sign. I'm really not opposed to that because Daniel Defense makes an amazing barrel. This one is nitride coated. It is not your typical standard military chrome inline bore coating, so you're getting a lot more accuracy. That sub MOA is actually coming from the way that they coated the barrel here with the nitride, and amongst many other things that are probably far beyond my expertise, but I do know that standard chrome military bore barrels aren't really going to get that out of the box accuracy that we're seeing with these nitride coated barrels. The other thing which was really impressive about Geissele is the fact that they are making their own uppers and lowers. Now, why is that spectacular? Well, don't take my word for it, but go and research and you'll see that there's maybe a handful of companies that are making the uppers and lowers for a myriad of other companies. And what this is telling me about Geissele is they're about making their own. They're about making quality. They're not going to stamp their name to a piece of equipment or a piece of machined or milled firearms pieces that they didn't manufacture themselves. With that said, is the military using this? Yes, it is. I know that the Army, Special Operations Command, like Delta Force, they've been using these. I think they're called the USG uppers or the complete rifles. So with that state, I mean, we pretty much know that these are technical data package weapons. If anybody's not familiar with what TDP or technical data package is, it means that the pieces have to be made with the highest quality of aluminum alloys, and the machining has to be within a certain particular spec or tolerance. And all of your top-notch ARs are going to be technical data package or TDP, or what we call TDP plus, like LWRC or Lewis Machine and Tool, Daniel Defense. And with that said, I really think that Geissele is going to fall within those parameters and really be up there with those top-notch names in the AR-15 world. What else did I like? I mean, really, what's not to like? At first, to be fair, when I compared it just with immediate looks, I really didn't think that it stood up with the fit and finish or the presentation that Daniel Defense does, or Lewis Machine Tool, or LWRC. But after getting some range time and getting out and shooting, it kind of changed my mind pretty quickly. I'm really going to give this weapon a 9 out of 10 on everything. At first, I was just going to give it with accuracy, but fit and finish, the craftsmanship, the accuracy, overall handling, it's there. I mean, Geissele's there, and in the future, I can definitely see myself, purchasing more of these to use. I look forward to using them on the job. Like I said, one of the police agencies that I work for just recently purchased these, and I really think that they're going to do their job. With that said, overall, you guys have to use your judgment. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a pretty good rifle, but when we're comparing these between all the top-notch AR-15s, it's like comparing Formula One race cars. Is Ferrari better than Mercedes, or is Mercedes better than BMW? And, when you're making Formula One cars, they're all magnificent. And in this case, I think that Geissele is up there in the top notch, and can compete with all the other top grade AR-15s out there. But like I said, just like Formula One cars, you're going to have to pick. You're going to have to pick the team that you like. But do I think that this one's going to be up in the top running? I most certainly do. And I hope you guys get an opportunity to get one at the range. And whether you could rent one at a gun range or borrow one from a friend, do your own comparison. But like I said, it's pretty spectacular. And I hope that at least help everybody make a decision, take a look at the rifle, see how it fires, look at the fit and finish. You're really getting a top grade rifle here, with very few negatives. I really can't tell you anything that I saw that would be a deficit on the rifle. And remember, this is in comparison to other AR-15s. There's a lot of people out there that's going to state the AK-47 is better than the AR-15 or the SIG 551. I mean, remember that this is my educated test put against some other AR-15s. We're not comparing this, against the rest of the world's small arms. We're only comparing this against, the rest of the other AR-15s. With that said, there was one other thing that did come to mind as far as a negative. It did have to do with the appearance and price. I think retail price on this weapon is anywhere between $2,200 and $2,400. Wholesale price is somewhere in between $1,800 and $1,750. Some of the extra features, I just didn't think that Geissele popped out the way that LWRC does. And I'm going to give you a quick comparison here. I'm going to grab one of my L dubs. Okay, you get a lot more user-friendly lower, where you can release the magazine in an ambidextrous fashion from left to right. You can drop the bolt or hold the bolt left to right, in an ambidextrous fashion. What does Geissele offer, as far as the extras? Well, you're going to get your release that has an extra paddle up top here. You get your typical ambidextry safety lever. And other than that, that's about it. It's kind of like no frills or no extras that you would get in the same price point with LWRC or Fabrique Nationale or Daniel Defense. So if there was one major drawback, which really has nothing to do with the performance of the weapon, I'm going to say that you're going to get a little, all of those little extras or the extra frills in the same price point from LWRC or Lewis Machine and Tool, that Geissele just didn't offer in their lower. And it's a sidebar. Is this affecting the overall performance? Absolutely not. Is it affecting, you know, the way the weapon's shooting or the ultimate value? Probably not. I just think that if it's not going to offer some of the extras, you know, maybe the price point should, you know, should drop accordingly. But, you know, I mean, and that's an honest assessment. You know, take from it what you will. You know, other than that, there's not too much more that, you know, that I can say positive or negative on the rifle. I hope that guys help. You know, Geissele's there. I think it's a good rifle. I think it's, you know, worth someone to take a look at if they're looking to purchase a top grade AR. And other than that, thanks for tuning in. Hope it wasn't too boring. Hope you got, you know, a little bit of honesty out of this. You know, I'm not paid by any of these manufacturers, so, you know, I'm going to tell you exactly how it is or how I feel it is. And other than that, happy shooting. Thanks for tuning in, guys.